I want to go across to Preeti Menon first, because Preeti, first and foremost, congratulations. Arvind Kejriwal finally out of jail from gate number 3. He spent 153 days in jail. That's a long period of incarceration. He's out now. What impact do you think this will have on the immediate political fortunes of the Aam Aadmi Party?
I think, firstly, I would like to reiterate what Arvind Kejriwal ji said, that it is God's grace that he is out. Just this morning, I'm from Mumbai. I went to Lal Bagh Cha Raja. I bowed my head, and by the time I came out, I got the great news that he is out. So I think that Arvind ji's arrest and the subsequent bail which he got from the ED has changed the tide of the way the ED CBI could be used to incarcerate the political opposition by the BJP. When Arvind ji was released, and post that many other leaders have been released. Kavita ji, Hemant Soren ji was released before that. The judiciary has now stood up and said that enough is enough. That you cannot use the agencies and you cannot use cases endlessly to keep political leaders in jail as under trials. And I think that's a very, very important thing for Indian democracy. So while the party is rejoicing, we are absolutely thrilled that he is here, especially since we are in the throes of an election. But I think what is more important is that the country now needs to rejoice, because the judiciary, having stood up and having reiterated that, like how 10, 12 years ago, the CBI was used as a cage parrot, the same thing has continued even today. Agencies are being
That's an important point you make, because the CBI did allude to cage parrot, and that the CBI must dispel the notion that the CBI is acting like a cage parrot, which is what the Supreme Court said today. You know, out of the 18 accused in the Enforcement Directorate case, so far, except one, Amandeep Dal, who's still in judicial custody, everybody else, Kejriwal, Sisodia, Sanjay Singh, Kavita, Vijay Nair, Sameer Mahindru, they've all been given bail. 3 have turned approver. In the CBI case, out of the 9 accused, 8 are out, 1 is in jail. Now, Shehzad Poonawalla, some of the observations made by the Supreme Court hark back to the time when the UPA was in power, and that's something that got the BJP in opposition very agitated, that the CBI is acting like a cage parrot 10 years on. The Supreme Court making scathing comments about how the CBI must not act like a cage parrot. This time, though, it's on the watch of your party and your government.
Rahul, you would also remember, since you're such a seasoned journalist, that Lalu Prasad Yadav went to jail for the first time in '97. Subsequently, he got bail many occasions. He was finally convicted in 2013. And in the course of that entire long trial and going in and out of jail, many courts made many kinds of commentary. One half of the Supreme Court bench has made that one commentary, but the second half and the complete bench has said that the arrest is illegal. Nowhere has the arrest been held illegal. Even if Mr. Bhuyan, Justice Bhuyan, has raised certain question marks, they have not held the arrest by CBI as illegal. Secondly, Justice Bhuyan has also said, and I want to draw your attention to this particular line, that none of this applies to the merits of the case, and this condition is being necessitated to dissuade a recent tendency of building a self-serving narrative on public platforms. In fact, I would only go on to say that this is the first time, Rahul, that somebody went in as CM, Chief Minister, and came out as CM, Ceremonial Minister. Rahul, look at the conditions imposed on this person. He can't go to his office, he can't go to the Sachivalaya, he can't touch the files, he has to pay a bond of 10 lakhs. What is Madam Preeti Sharma Menon celebrating? You ask what is happening for the real CM, that is the common man. Can Mr. Chief Minister do anything for the common man after he has become
I want to pause
minister?
the politics just for a moment as I go across to senior Supreme Court advocate Dushyant Dave, who now joins us on the case, because the politicians will speak along predictable partisan lines. I want to spend some time with Dushyant Dave on what this means for the excise case, what this means for how investigative agencies are operating, and the split in the Supreme Court. Now, what do you, as one of our leading advocates, Mr. Dave, make of the fact that Justice Kant and Justice Bhuyan seem to have had very different perspectives on whether the arrest itself was legal, justified, unjustified, whether he should be signing files or not signing files, and whether this had a larger bearing on this case and in the manner in which the agency acted, or is it just a routine matter that he's been given bail? So, because the judges were so split, everyone quite confused about what to make of the order. What do you think of it?
Well, proof of the pudding is in eating, Rahul. Fact of the matter is that Kejriwal has been released on bail, and it was inevitable, frankly. I mean, and we are seeing this now across the country in large number of cases where people are being arrested and they end up spending a lot of time in jails. They are not being bailed out. So it's a very unfortunate situation, Rahul. And, it's important for us as a nation to realize that we cannot just punish people as under trials. If we want to punish them, we have to bring the trial to a logical conclusions. And then, of course, we must send them to jail if they deserve, if they are found guilty. I have a zero tolerance towards corruption. And if Mr. Kejriwal is guilty of corruption, then he must face the music. But the judicial system must work towards it. Investigating agencies must work towards it. They must therefore ensure that the trial takes place as speedily as possible. There's no point keeping people behind bars, and we don't know what is going to be the outcome of this trial after 2 or 3 or 4 years. So, what is really troublesome, Rahul, is the way system is failing across the country. And not only the judiciary is to be blamed substantially, but even the investigating agencies are greatly responsible for this mess which is happening across the country. And as a result, sufferers are citizens. I won't say they are innocent, but they are, till they are found guilty, they are innocent. They are presumed to be innocent. So I think this whole culture, this whole air has to be cleared as quickly as possible. And for that, I think media has a great responsibility to put pressure on the judiciary to ask, why is it that in the first instance trial court denied him bail? Why is it that a high court judge denied him bail? Is any action going to be taken against these judges who fail in following the law? Because bail is rule, jail is an exception, and yet they fail again and again. Why is it Supreme Court never makes comment about their conduct? So all these questions raise extremely disturbing issues before the nation, Rahul.
Now, Justice Bhuyan questioned the arrest by the CBI. It says that only after the ED started making clear that they were going to give him bail, that the CBI swung into action. Before that, for 22 months, no attempt was made to arrest him, even though Kejriwal was questioned. But Justice Kant doesn't agree with this line of thinking. My question to you is, does this have a larger bearing on the excise case at all, given the fact that the trial could go on for several years? Or do you think this is not to be confused with the larger issue of what happens to the case? This is just the act of grant of bail.
No, there is no doubt that this is at the bail stage, and the observations and findings that learned judges have made at this stage are not binding on the courts below during the course of trial. So these are, but there is no doubt about the fact, while both judges are outstanding judges and they are extremely well respected and well regarded, I must compliment Justice Bhuyan for taking the law a little further, because undoubtedly it appears that CBI's arrest of Kejriwal on the eve of his release in an ED case was mala fide exercise. And we know that this is what is happening. What is really sad, Rahul, is that the CBI day in and day out and enforcement department go on functioning, targeting opposition leaders. For last 10 years, not a single BJP leader has been arrested by them on the charge of corruption, as if corruption is only confined to the opposition parties, which is a very, very disturbing trend. And what is more serious is that CBI director selection, the panel consists of Chief Justice of India. So why is it that these kind of appointments are made in the first instance? Why is it that the country, these things make us a laughing stock in the international world. People are talking world over about how our judicial system, how our investigating agencies are targeting opposition leaders. I have no sympathy for corruption. But you can't, say that corruption is only confined to a particular political party or political parties, and it has nothing to do with, any other. So this kind of a situation which we have brought about upon us, it doesn't speak well as a democracy. We must make our democracy a robust democracy where everybody is respected, party in power and those in opposition. So I think Justice Bhuyan's judgment will go a long way in sending at least a message. He has repeated what Justice Chief Justice Lodha has said long back, that CBI is a cage parrot. And that's troublesome. I mean, it's a premier investigating agency. It must act in a way that it is respected and admired by all. But it's not happening.
Important points there from Dushyant Dave. I thank you for taking out time and joining us. Senior Advocate Dushyant Dave referring to the Supreme Court, talking about the CBI being a cage parrot. That it happened earlier on the watch of the UPA. It's happening again this time on the watch of the NDA. I want to go across to Siddharth Mishra because you can see these beaming smiles. Sanjay Singh, Bhagwant Mann, Sandeep Pathak, Raghav Chadda, all of them hugging Kejriwal. There are lots of jappis going around. What impact do you think this has on the AAP's immediate political fortunes, which will be tested in Haryana in a few weeks from now?
Rahul, what effect does it have on the fortune of the citizens of Delhi? I travel every day from my office in Pitampura to my residence in Anand Vihar, and I face every day knee-deep potholes on the roads. I see broken down DTC buses. I see no sign of administration on the streets of Delhi. I see overflowing drains. I see pathetic. It cannot, we talk of Delhi being a global city, city of, I don't know what all, but Delhi today is city of filth. Dirty roads, broken down roads, citizens, passing through stinking drains. So does it bring any change in the fortune of citizens of Delhi? Mr. Kejriwal, I saw your report when he came out of the jail, and he spoke so passionately. But did he ever utter a word that I will bring back sense of administration to the city of Delhi? Mr. Kejriwal plays his role as the leader of Aam Aadmi Party with a lot of aplomb. But he has performed so miserably as the Chief Minister of Delhi. And his party has also performed so miserably in the MCD. You see, corruption is one thing. It's good that there is a case in the court. He is winning, somebody is losing. But whether he is in jail, whether he is out of jail,
that's a good point.